Hello everybody, welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble, which been on par with everything except for the XCOM 2. I'm doing the re-upload of those until it catches up with YouTube. And today I will try to see if I can manage to launch an XCOM 2 episode here, a new one. I cannot promise you anything, because I also want to see if I can have at least time to get around and do a channel update regarding the plans of for this year regarding the channel in terms of releasing schedule, gaming series and all that stuff there. But yeah, I'll see what I can do in this. Today is the first, so it's a little bit not kind of a hangover from the festivities here, and still some stuff that I need to finish off regarding work. But yeah, I will try to do these two videos today, but at least the priority is for the channel update. It's been 4 years, since 4 months since the last one, so I will try to do so. And also everything that I post, it's also on the blogger as an archive post there, and everything also on Patreon for extra support. So not much happening, however some interesting stuff here, especially regarding Overwatch 2. Basically it was sent to die on Steam, as I think almost every Activision game that they managed to put out in Steam recently. I think Call of Duty also. I'm not sure Diablo 4, because I think Diablo 4 is not there. I don't remember seeing it. Maybe I saw it, but I just ignore it on the thing on the game cards. There is wish list. There is ignore. A lot of them I ignored it, so it doesn't get busy on my feed there. But yeah, I don't know what people were expecting when they start putting out Overwatch 2, which it's for all intents and purposes, from what I can gather, is not a very good game, especially compared with the first one. The fact that when they launched the second one, Overwatch 2, they basically deleted Overwatch 1, and I'm not sure. I think there wasn't anything that was manageable to be translated on transferable from Overwatch 1 to Overwatch 2. From what I can gather, at least to the best of my knowledge and my memory. And the fact that also there were some complaints here regarding the senior manager of community development. Of course, Bobby Kotick just exit like 2 days ago or something like that, from Activision, part of the deal between Microsoft and Activision acquisition. Again, I hope everything works out well, that at least they clean house, and the next few games that will start popping out from Activision Blizzard are more focused on player enjoyment instead of being a microtransition hellfest there. I was kind of excited to Diablo 4 to play around it, but then I start seeing the reviews and the fact that they basically hidden the microtransition plan that they had before the review. Even after the reviews came out, after all the reviews came out, it started pumping out all the skins and the shit that there is there for you to get around with the money, extra money, even though you pay full price for that game. It's a lot of shenanigans happening there, but yeah, this guy was complaining because they wanted, I don't know what miracle they were expecting to put there on Steam, but then again, I'm not sure. I don't. It's been a while since I used Battle.net. It's the app for the Activision's kind of thing there. I'm not sure if it has, for example, in a games page, if there has like an integrated system as Steam has regarding feedbacks and review stuff. I don't remember. I don't think so. And they were quite afraid of dealing with toxicity of content and posts. Even though when you work around the internet, if you're not prepared to deal with this kind of thing, even me as a very small channel, from time to time I might get something completely. Usually, that normal people don't say it face to face, or like spams and people complaining with stuff that I cannot do anything about, or they have a different opinion of mine, which is more than fine, and I'm happy to have a conversation about that. But again, you're always going to deal with toxic, or what they tell it's toxic content and posts. Usually, this day and age, when people say something that it's not the same that you think, usually it's considered toxic. I don't know why, but it is what it is. Tells more about the person who classifies those ideas or contents or posts that people do as toxic than the people that are making the posts. But regardless, there are some stuff that happens that should not happen, from death threats to threaten people. But then again, it's an online world. I understand to a certain degree that certain people in certain positions in companies have more visibility and can be feel more intimidated because they feel more vulnerable. But yeah, there is a lot of background noise or white noise regarding what they classify as toxic posts. But yeah, there are several stuff that happens that it's not good. But there is again moderation content tools, especially on a platform as Steam. But yeah. They didn't have the support they asked for, and supposedly that the fact that they didn't have the support they wanted before the launch on transition, that the Overwatch 2 on Steam happened directly from codec. Again, corporations and how their structure works. I'm not sure I'm not sure if it is even something. Just because you don't like the CEO doesn't mean that he was directly involved in this kind of granular decision. I assume it's something between middle management, probably. What I assume, it's not excusing the guy. It's a CEO that has to supposedly think about huge amount of things. It's not going to pick this granular decision. I think usually he gives a guideline of save money on the transition for Overwatch 2, and then there is the problem of middle management interpreting the words as they see fit. And then again, in a big corporation, you always have somebody that doesn't like something, and if you are not in the position of power, you're basically screwed. But yeah. This is what usually happens. Somebody always gets screwed, and usually it's the lower level people. And then again, I see this a mix between complaining, like almost whining, because these things should not come out, and because it's just internal decisions, unless it's something that is criminal. But mismanagement, if you complain, even though, and you wait, especially that the CEO goes out for you to complain publicly of mismanagement in a way that it's not criminal. I don't know. It tells you more about yourself than the mismanagement is. But yeah, it is what it is. Hopefully they clean house, get rid of all the shitty people and all the shitty systems they have implemented there, and start doing good games for people to enjoy. And hopefully more in the veins of letting go all these microtransactions shit that it's plagued in the gaming in a lot of games here. Again, I'm a guy that is middle ground. I prefer something similar to Baldur's Gate 3, which is you get the full experience, you pay the full price, and that's it. Of course, you have the support of patching up the game here and there, and all that jazz. And I can deal with like DLC in a way that, for example, From Software deals with it with their DLC. And even like the Witcher games, the Cyberpunk one also, it's a good example of an excellent DLC that adds to the story. and in the content. This kind of DLCs, I'm all for it. I understand there is a way of adding value to the player and for the company to make extra revenue out of that IP itself. But usually that's it. When you start putting like loot boxes, microtransactions for skins, and all that crappy stuff, I just that's the time that I pull the parachute on the thing there. I don't even want to hear about it. I just ignore the best I can because it's something that I don't want to give usually too much attention. And I'm one of those that I prefer to vote with my wallet. That's why I'm very picky in choosing games. I try to get around. My main philosophy is I can get hyped up for the game as much as I can, but I never pre-order games because it sends the wrong message. I never pre-ordered games, and I wait after the game comes out. I never buy the game. I never bought the game when it came out. I wait at least a couple of months to get all the reviews came out. Which is something difficult, is to avoid the spoilers. But I avoid the spoilers, but I watch the reviews from a lot of usually more about the independents. Even though I can consult like the big media, for example, in our circles, usually it's for example IGN, GameSpot, all that jazz. But I tend to follow pretty close some people that do reviews, so I can get a sense of it. And then I wait at least a couple of months to see if there is like changes, like for example what happened with Overwatch 2 or any kind of games that they promise something and then they or even like Diablo 4, you didn't have like a good sense of what the paywall stuff was working off, because in the reviews it was impossible for them to know about. So I give usually a couple of months, and then I try to make a decision if it is good or not for me. Or in the case of, in my case, 5 or 6 years without be able to have even hardware to play games. Now I'm catching up, and I'm being able to catch up with some good sales, gaming deals, which is one of the reasons that I do this every day. I try to catch a good deal, even from older games, because I know some people might be in a less, not a less, but in a position that they are not able to buy games in full price, or they just recently bought hardware, and before they weren't able to play games. And there's always something good, even in older games. If there is a good deal, yeah, I think it's well worth at least get some enjoyment of good old games to a certain degree. But yeah, hopefully they will clean house and they will start wrapping up good games in the near future. We got some good news also. Hopefully good news from Lord of the Fallen's CI games. Supposedly they are trying to work on a new game, or at least I assume it's like pre-production stuff, because there are some job listings for supposedly open world survival horror game. They said, at least from the information that it's here on the article, they think they can put a unique twist on the formula. There was a combat designer job listing that it's now deleted. We don't know if it is by the feeling being fulfilled, that job listing, or if it was deleted. But somebody also managed to get around and get a job listing for senior level artist, which is basically, is the thing, putting a unique twist on the formula, both in mechanics and the environmental challenges we set for the players. It's kind of interesting that Effect is a horror game, because you can take advantage, I think, a little bit of how they did it with Lords of the Fallen level design of the, I think it's Umbral and Ashen or something like that. The two ways you can transverse the levels there. I think the idea can be well translated in a horror theme survival game, where it's like timed based or action based, or something that you do that triggers something that changes the way you go about it, doing your things, or if it's time related, like during the night the scenario completely changes. I think it's something that it can be quite interesting. Again, I'm very excited to start to see when I can start playing this game. Even though it's like mixed results, but then again, regarding this game, from the information that I'm being getting that I got is mainly how it plays. The people that dislike a little bit, I think it's about how the gameplay feels a little bit, because supposedly people are used to, from software games, the commitment of the action is when you commit to an action, you have to wait until the action is done fully, until you can get another input for another action for that to develop there, and it's a cycle that it's people are used to do that. And I think in Lords of Fallen doesn't work quite like that. So you input an action of a swing of a sword, but you can cancel mid animation with I think a dodge or something like that. So it's cancelable, that commitment, and it might seem weird if you're used to this kind of a flow of combat. And I think they disrupt a little bit that flow of combat, because you can basically cancel animations or in this on a combat scenario. It might makes a difference of people enjoying or not, even though supposedly theoretically it might be easier to know if you commit to an action and you know it's not going to hit and cancel out. But yeah, it's part of the fun of trying to figure out a way to go about the game. But yeah, I think that's one of the main reasons that the game has mixed results, at least on Steam, because from what I've seen, the level design is pretty excellent. The story, it's pretty decent, and the other things like the equipment and the weapons and all that thing seems pretty well balanced, and the enemy seems pretty the enemy variety and AI seems pretty decent. So I think it's most about that thing there. But yeah, and lastly, in terms of news, we got a kind of interesting thing. Supposedly there was a leak, or somebody data mined something and managed to get around to know the next batch of free Epic Game Store. And supposedly the next ones, this has already been out. Ghost Runner already claimed, but yeah, supposedly afterwards is Escape Academy. I don't remember this. 20 minutes till dawn. I also never heard of it, at least to my knowledge. And then you have a Plague Tale: Innocence, and afterwards Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Again, until Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy is one per day, so today it's basically still Ghost Runner. At least for me, it's still a Ghost Runner. On the end of the day, then it's Escape Academy, the second 20 minutes till dawn, the third Plague Tale: Innocence, and then from January 4th to January 11th is Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm pretty excited about this one. And yeah, then afterwards, supposedly it's like a weekly thing again, or not bi-weekly, bi-monthly. But yeah, again, I always keep on track with this free Epic Game Stores. I managed to get around and get excellent games out of this kind of freebie thing that is happening there. One of those was Voidbusters, and the game that I'm doing a series which is Prey. And also Death Stranding, the director's cut. I was able to claim it also, like I think a few months ago, and I've been start playing that one around 2 weeks ago, and it's pretty interesting. Again, Kojima, I think it's nailed another one regarding the uniqueness of his game making there. But yeah, I will keep my eyes watchful and let you know. But yeah, we got supposedly taking into account that this seems pretty good information. We'll see. Hopefully this is the schedule where they're going to launch the games, so we can start out here with some pretty good games to play for free, which is always good. And again, turning around to Epic Game Store, again, Ghost Runner is free. At the time of recording, 7 hours until you can claim this one. When the video is launched or published, so around 5 hours still. But yeah, until at least the 4th of January. Keep your eyes peeled every day, in case by any chance I miss mentioning the free games here. Regarding Steam, we got BioShock the collection. Again, 80% off on average on all free games. This is not the final price because I already have BioShock Infinite in my my library here. But yeah, the trilogy encompasses the two first BioShocks, the remastered versions, BioShock Infinite, and all the DLC associated between all three games. I think it sticks around $20, and I think it's a good deal here. Got Darkest Dungeon, 80% off. It's one of those games that I will probably try to get around and play it, at least for myself. It seems pretty decent, it's kind of up my alley, turn-based, with some roguelike things there. And yeah, very positive reviews. We got also the Banner Saga trilogy here. This is just the first one, but the trilogy here, we got the Stoic Edition and the Deluxe pack. I think the Stoic Edition brings the soundtrack here as a bonus to a certain degree. But yeah, it's a trilogy of games where choice matters, it's turn-based combat, very Nordic folklore about it, the kind of a feel there. And the choices that you make and the consequences are translated throughout the free games. So I think it's a very well done trilogy here from Stoic Studio. We got also Children of Morta. Again, a little bit roguelike, hack and slash, isometric view, kind of RPG elements there. And the multiplayer, I think, is more about the co-op. I think you can play the entirety of the game solo. And the story seems pretty interesting also. And again, 75% off doesn't hurt also. Yeah, we got Days Gone. Again, it's one of those, I think, underrated games in the last years. The PC port is pretty good. That's why you have also very positive reviews, but it got all the thing, widescreen support and all that jazz, and the HDR options also, if not mistaken. It's a pretty good port there. And I think the story is pretty decent also. The gameplay mechanics pretty good. And again, 75% off, also great. And I think it's a zombie game, but I think it's well done with the twist here, with a lot of elements here, and the horde mechanics that they implemented there. We got also Voidbusters. Again, this is well worth your time if you like kind of roguelike games with some weird sense of humor here and there. This was basically Blue Manchu's a lot of ex-BioShock devs and the like with this kind of experience, and it notices here. It's a very good game. I did a gameplay series of this one, and it's excellent already, and it's more than worth with 70% off. So I really do recommend this game. We got King Arthur Knight's Tale. It's one of those that I will try out. It's kind of up my alley, tactical RPGs, turn-based tactics, and it's got the Arthurian kind of story there, with a twist, more darker twist, sorry. And yeah, it's one of those, even though it's from now, or basically almost 2 years, it's one of those little games that you might have missed in 2022, but yeah, it's one of those that I want to try out here. We got also, let's close this one, Death Stranding. Again, I'm playing this game. I managed to claim it for free a few months ago, but yeah, the game loop here, it's not a walking simulator for sure. You got a lot of, at least I'm not also finished the game. I assume I'm still like in the first quarter of the game, if that much. The themes here are very interesting if you're willing to read the documents, because there is a lot of context given there. It might seem very weird when you start playing this game, but I think you'll start to catch up the themes that Kojima is trying to approach here. And the gameplay loop here is pretty decent, even if it is a lot about deliveries. It's very similar, reminds me in some aspects regarding Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain. Some of those little mechanics that he has, those game loops, the fact that the way you perform the game gives you a little bit more level ups on the equipment, more durabilities, the way you deal with the environment there, and the interaction that you have with people there. It's a lot about interacting with the environment and the peoples in that world there, and the fact that you have the I think it's called the synchronicity multiplayer, something like that, similar to Dark Souls. You don't interact directly with people, but you can interact indirectly with each other to a certain degree, and building a lot of stuff there. It's very, very, very good so far, at least what I've been playing. I think I have around 30 hours or so, but I spend a lot of time trying to get around on doing a lot of deliveries because it's a little bit of OCD. I still didn't unlock this. I don't know what this is. But yeah, I got the track bike, and I managed to steal some. Again, the story, I don't reach this point. I'm very kind of early, but I already played 40 hours, and I'm enjoying a lot. And one of the main things is how death is dealt in the game. It seems pretty interesting. But yeah, and lastly we got Prey, which is one of the current gameplay series that I've been doing. Again, I managed to claim this game in Epic Game Store, and for buying I always advise the Digital Deluxe because it has the Moon Crash, which is a kind of a roguelike kind of element inserted on the game itself, but it's like I think it takes place on the moon. But yeah, so far I'm enjoying a lot this game. I already recorded some episodes of this game, so I can have like some stuff that I can have on the backlog, so I can publish. I'm enjoying a lot the immersive sim of this game, and the fact that it is very also underrated. When it came out, the options that you have to go around the levels are pretty fascinating. The tools that they give you, and it's a lot about imagination and how you will use the tools that you have at your disposal. But yeah, one of those recommendations for sure. And even the base game by itself, $3, I think it's more well than worth the value there. And yeah, basically this is it for today to start off the year. Again, I will try to do my best to at least bring the channel update video, so I can give a more overarching vision for what I have planned for this year in terms of scheduling and video launches and all that jazz, and maybe some live streams. I'm not sure yet. I need to let this at least this past 2 weeks pass to see, have a feel of how I can deal with it. But yeah, I will wrap up with a plug on my Patreon for extra support. And at this moment, the extra support is I'm very concerned with storage. For me to be able to get backups of the things that I do for my clients, and of course some extra space for the videos that I do for this channel. Basically, that's it at this moment. And well, as I said, guys, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, Kunamy Master out.